All right, welcome. Big detailing series. We're going to be dialing in my 2013. I kept saying 2011 yesterday, but my 2013 Gen 1 Ford Raptor. We coded it at the very first Moderators Weekend, which was a group of guys that helped me manage my Facebook group and a couple of others. In the very beginning of it, we got together, and that was one of the times when I really first saw the potential magic of getting a group of obsessed, like-minded people together, and just saw how they just took care of things. It was really freaking cool. And so we'd actually IR cured 2 layers of CarPro TiO2 on the Raptor. And it's really held up well because I've neglected this more than anything I've ever owned in my life, largely because it's Michelle's truck and, you know, she just doesn't care. So it's actually been washed here recently, and then I put the new wheels on it last night and decided, you know, we really need to get moving on it. So I'm going to start with engine bay cleanup, then we'll go to decontaminating the paint. The wheels are already coated and set up. I guess I probably should have decided to do this beforehand, but the wheels won't get messed up. But after decontamination here today, then we got to take it over, tape it up, polish it, figure out what I need to replace. I've already bought a few things last night. I kind of want to bring it back up to a standard. After polishing, coat it, deal with the glass. We'll also be doing interior, doing some leather care and clean up there, and really just getting the truck back up to a standard. It has about 92,000 miles on it, so it's about time for me to correct it. You know, this really makes me second guess worrying so much because I'm about to fix everything that may have been messed up from me not dealing with. There's probably some water spots, and there's certainly contamination. We'll be talking about removing a coating and adding a new coating and all of that stuff. So let's get started with the engine bay. I'm going to set up a foam cannon with some all-purpose cleaner. So what we're going to do first, because this makes the biggest mess, so I always like to do the engine bay before anything else. We're going to pop the hood, we're going to spray it out. I'm going to get out my 25-degree nozzle, and we're going to kind of get some of the gunk out of there, spray it down with some all-purpose cleaner, agitate it a little bit, and spray it down again, and we've got a completed project. So pretty simple. I'm going to go pretty heavy on this. This is Meguiar's D101. It's not one of their more aggressive all-purpose cleaners. I don't need a ton. I'm going to go roughly 50-50 on it, 2-to-1, and call it a day. Then we're going to hit it with some hyper dressing. This is diluted like 3 3/4 to 1. I don't have a lot of it, but this should be enough. I've got gallons of it at the garage. I just didn't think to bring it here. So I'm going to add some water and we'll get moving. This engine bay hasn't been cleaned in a really long time. And yeah, it just needs a good old cleaning. My coolant is good. I know I changed the air filter recently. I just changed the oil. There really isn't. All that harness stuff is fine because it's sealed. The battery will be fine to get a little bit wet. So there's nothing in here pressing. You know the alternator's right here, but alternator's fine to get wet too. So nothing in here for the 6.2 liter V8. Nothing to worry about. So let me just show you what we're dealing with here. So we'll get this nice and cleaned up. Not super terrible, but not clean like I'd like. Okay, so let me fire up the pressure washer. So I'm gonna swap nozzles. Take and put the 25-degree on. Same size as the 6.0 nozzle. So we're not going to increase pressure. We're just increasing the pattern, changing the pattern of it. So the pressure's still going to be, right at around 1,000 psi. This is getting us about 3 gallons a minute. And so I always do the engine bay during the decon because it makes a mess. Big all-purpose cleaner. Actually, we have residual hyper dressing on here. It looks pretty good. Can clean up real easily. You can see that makes a pretty nasty mess. I don't want to get all-purpose cleaner all over my, especially if I have, my car waxed with colonite or something like that. I don't want to do that. So now we can just agitate and get it cleaned up. Rex is here to help me do this so that I'm not having to do this all myself. I don't really have the right brushes for this kind of stuff, so I just use what I got because I don't do this kind of thing very often. So we just use the wheel stuff just to kind of superficially clean it because it's not really all that bad. But if you had a more beat up engine bay, then you'd probably want to do some more. Get some better tools. Man, it's gonna make me feel good getting this truck dialed back to OG spec. I won't be embarrassed Michelle driving around town. Tell you what, I drove this truck for several years and no one ever stopped me and said how cool it was, and she gets stopped every gosh darn day. Every time she goes to the gas station. Yeah. Like, oh, nice truck. I'm like, I want somebody to tell me I have a nice truck. What's going on there? Am I not approachable? I don't think I've ever actually put APC in the foam cannon. Normally it's because the cars I have are normally not as dirty as this one is.
How long have you had this truck?
I got this truck in 2016. I think that's when I got it. I'd say that's pretty darn good. That's all we really need. All right. Good enough. This is good enough garage. Again, we got a 25-degree spray pattern. Okay, so now all we do, this is the old Matt Mormon method here, is we just spray some hyperdressing. This is the version 1 of the bottle, so don't judge its performance. I should have brought new ones over, but I probably already sold them all. So if you want one of the new version 1.2s of the garden and whatever we call these things, the regular sprayers, you're gonna have to get it now because it'll be months before, especially with sanctions on products coming from Europe or whatever it is, limitations. It's gonna be a while. So all we do with hyperdressing, and I have this in the store, you can buy it pre-diluted if you don't want to mess with it. All I'm doing is just spraying it on, covering the surface, and and walk away. We just don't want to heat the truck up until it's dry. But this will give us a nice matte looking sheen the way I have it diluted at like just slightly more than 4:1. Okay, that'll do it. So we'll let that sit, and we're gonna do the rest of the truck. I need to stop saying car. It's like, oh, that thing ripped. How did that happen? We'll add that to the list of things I need to replace. I don't think there's anything else in the engine bay we need to replace. Okay, nice and clean. You know what I'm gonna do first? I'm gonna clean out the windshield squirter thingies. We're gonna put some clarity in here. I wanna empty the tank. Okay. So I can put some fresh DI water with some Angel Wax Clarity in there.